Hey, people. Good morning. Positive Paul. All praise and glory to the Most High. And on a very chilly Tuesday morning, February 17th, 2026. And you know what? I don't think I've ever done one of these. And I guess one would call it a praise report of sorts. But it has been raining again in Baja, which is rare. And when you go from sunshine, 80-degree weather, to freezing cold rain from this apparent uh, atmospheric river, it is cold. I don't know what it is. It's probably in the 40s right now, maybe. But so the first thing is I now have direct proof of the Mandela effect, if I haven't mentioned that. Don't know quite how I'm going to present this, but yeah, one of these days I'll get around to it. And the other thing is the people that are on social media pretending to be me, using my information, which some of you know my story already, now 10 years later. But this concerns the UAPs, the UFOs, custodian file. Now, he's one of quite a few, but he's the leader of the pack right now. He's been assigned the case to present what he calls his dragons. And look, I've done videos on him years back now. And what I saw, look, this is what triggered this. YouTube, once again, when you see someone, I think I monitor his channel probably once a month. And all I do is I go, I look to see what his headliner is, because it's always the same thing. He's a one-trick pony, folks. All right? In order to be me, you got a lot going on. So he's one of them that pretends that, well, these dragons, which really are UAPs, UFOs, they've been hanging around me now that I've been reporting on for 10 years, no matter where I go. All right? America, Mexico, on top of Mount Fuji, take your pick. They'll be there. He's tried to dumb it down and be like, oh, this is this phenomenon that we're all dealing with. And yeah, well, when you see someone that had 6,000 subscribers, which took him about, 7 years? Because he claims his first video is from the end of 2019. All right? Now, concerning what I've provided, all right, I've been on the record now since 2016. And early on, had no clue about social media. I got butchered. It was like they hacked me up. They removed my videos, made me look like an idiot with these dopey comment perps, right? The online bullies. But now, custodian file, in, I guess, 1 month, magically has almost 27,000 subscribers. So before Christmas, when I looked at his channel, he was, I don't know. I don't know what he was, all right? It was nowhere near that number. He literally doubled, if not tripled, his subscribership. And it's really hilarious because, see, what these frauds do, right? They get their marching orders from their Satanist masters. And however this works, it's a lot of people involved. They decide what information that's the most pertinent. And concerning me, with my over 2,000 videos now, which certainly at least 1,000 of them are UAP, UFO videos, they have to somehow recreate that. Now, remember early on with the flyovers, I've told you all that. All right, can these sad sack Satanists and their Freemason buddies fly over a social media fraud, perp, and pretend that, the planes are flying over me too. Well, yes. So if these UAPs, these interdimensional, well, pests, are that so technologically advanced, and probably, yeah, as far as the brain power over a human, come on, can they tool around in Marina Del Rey, right in front of Custodian Files House, Robert Shipe? Okay, I got your number, Robert. We know what you're doing, who you work for. And where's Plant Abundance? Look, YouTube is dead and gone concerning anything that happened 10 years ago. It's all getting recycled again with different faces. But here's the praise report, okay? That's the rant. That's over. I haven't, you guys know I'm over these videos because it's a joke. On 3 separate occasions over since beginning right before Christmas, I was in a situation, excuse me, where I don't drive anymore due to various reasons we won't get into. But I'm walking to my locations, returning to my hovel, which I'm in right now. All right. And you got to take a break sometimes. My feet hurt. Okay. The first one, late at night, I'm on a street where I don't normally go because I don't really, take the same way twice every day. Even though, look, they're still chasing me around. It's very pathetic. But I'm walking down a dark street late at night, and someone stops and says, "Do I need a ride?" Well, they knew me, of course, because very randomly does that happen here. Sometimes it can. Believe me, there's a lot of good that does get done. But this individual, a woman who happens to be the wife of someone who knows all about my situation, has actually at one point been involved, but he's cool. She picked me up when I really needed a ride. I was desperate because I was still miles away from, my little hovel here. And we had the most interesting conversation. And my friends will never know who this person is because, I will see him again because they're around. But it began to reinforce what I've been thinking all along and how I'm going into the year 2026. You can't fight this, folks. The narrow path is the only way to fight this, and you only keep them off your back. You'll still be walking around broke, believe me. All right? But the second one was the other day, again, walking tired. I was kind of, upset about a couple things, stewing over YouTube, right? How it's just over. There's no point in making videos anymore, even though they study my videos. Custodian File is coming up with the other anomaly in my video, and they're creating that, recreating that on his footage. And so I'm just like, wow, man, this is pathetic that these guys have to, because look, even up till yesterday, I still do make videos I don't post. Everything's still happening, all right? And I got some amazing stuff that I can take into any court, any monkey court, and have these lazy lying lizards explain this. So I'm sorry. See how I get off track, folks? So I'm sitting there, I'm hungry, tired, and this guy comes along on a bike. He's selling breakfast tortas. And I won't say what he had said, but it was like a wise guy comment. And so, you know what? I lost it. I got up, I went on my rant, and what he did is he was very humble and told me, "Hey man, you know, I'm sorry about that, all that, this and that. Here, let me give you this torta and a bottle of water." And I accepted it because I was hungry, I was thirsty, and it was clear this guy needed money. These people, unless you're involved with the mafia somehow, you're walking around broke. All right. So, and he's only out hawking on a bike, hawking toward us, but it was the best thing. And Raymond, oh, God bless, because see, we had a conversation, and then all of a sudden, you know, like minds come together. And lo and behold, it's like you never know when you're going to have that real human interaction. Now, these people all walking around with their faces in their phones, they're driving. Let's say if Chips was down here in Tijuana, Rosarito, or wherever in Mexico, they're all talking on their cell phones while driving. Accidents everywhere. So, Raymond, God bless you. The other individual, I won't say her name because then that would expose her to these creeps. But the third one is the last rainstorm the week before. I was walking in a rainstorm, and again, someone I don't know that knows me, that sees me walking around, felt compassionate enough to stop and pick me up with her young kids too, mind you, and bring me to my house. And actually, almost because the roads here are dirt, they turn to mud. She almost couldn't make it out of here. So for that individual, it's like she didn't need to do that. Who knows? By the time I would have made it back at that point, I would have probably been sick because, yeah, this weather is unpredictable, erratic, and that the chemtrailing's been going on too. That's another thing. But 3 times, wonderful human beings went out of their way for me, and so the lesson is, my friends, that never give up on your fellow man. Not all of them are brainwashed. Not all of them are mind controlled. There's some that are just, they don't want to get involved because they're scared. They have families, responsibilities. But the day's coming very soon, as we all know, that all that gets thrown out the window. And it's down to brass tacks. And we'll see the people that look down on their poor brethren and see how their behavior changes. So never stop showing kindness. Always help out where you can. Keep an open mind. And remember, the narrow path is your only way, because Christ is coming through those clouds again, not those chemtrails.